All right, let's get out of here.
And I never will forget this. We went down there, and I'd been around TV stations, and of course I was already in radio at that point by 2 or 3 years. But we went and watched them do the 6 o'clock news live, and the anchor person was a guy named Nick Miller, and I don't think he lasted in the market very long. Very talented guy. He just went on somewhere else. And we're standing there, watching them do, the news and sports and weather and everything. And he says, that's our broadcast. We'll see you tonight at 11. CBS News is next. Good night, everyone. And then, you hear the director and the camera, all right, we're clear. And he gets up and he walks away from the desk, and he's got a sport coat on and a jacket on, but he's wearing shorts as he walked away from the desk. And I just remember thinking then, because I was always been a news geek. I was always watching TV news when I was like 6 or something. I was like, it's all been a lie.
A few shows ago, someone said, where's Hoppy's music?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well,
you don't have to do that. It's okay.
Oh no, I'm doing it because it's not the same song.
Oh really? You have a new song?
Someone submitted this song.
Oh, I hadn't heard.
We got a Hoppy song?
Can you hear it without headphones?
I can.
Okay,
that's all right. Just go ahead and play it. I'm sure it's wonderful.
This is the opening to Hoppy's Obvious Observations. He's hearing it. Brad's hearing it for the first time. Let's do this.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
He's hearing it, and Brad's hearing it for the first time. How is your hearing?
I'm sorry, what?
Here we go.
He's got thoughts that sound brand new, but they're things we already knew. He's got his lip balm ready, heaven knows. Let's make it quick before his bladder blows. Hoppy's obvious observations.
Hoppy, take it away with your obvious observations.
Oh, and Ryan, we talked about this without you on the air yesterday, that you supposedly had the inside track to all the good candy for maybe to stash some of the stuff for us.
Only after Trick or Beat.
Right. Ryan finds where it is after.
I don't mess with the candy supply, but in that brief period where there's candy in the building between Trick or Beat and the Christmas parade,
right,
I try to keep tabs on where it is.
Well, so have you located this?
No.
Give him time. That's what I'm saying. Give him time.
Okay.
Right. It's like a treasure hunt every year.
I most of the time it's in the room off to the side of the front desk, but sometimes it's been in like supply closets up in the second recording studio near the MetroNews.
So sometimes like in the back of the toilet, in the reservoir. He's found them everywhere.
So when you find this candy, you'll remember your old pal Dave.
No.
And your immediate supervisor, Coop, correct?
Coop, yes. Yeah.
Huntington, you know who they play? Sevier County, Tennessee.
That's exactly
They've already
right,
played one of the best teams in Tennessee in the opener. It's their only loss so far. This is also one of the best teams in the state of Tennessee. So I don't know what they're going for, a CFP playoff spot or what they're trying to do down there in Huntington, but they're challenging the heck out of themselves.
Does it ever feel like 24 years? Do you ever sit back and think it feels like, sometimes I can't believe it's been 24 years, and I just think it feels like it's been a lot less.
And then there's other times I think,
yes,
it's only been 24 years?
Yeah, same thing.
I would love to go back, and I don't think I have I know I don't have any way to doing it.
No, I don't want to go back and hear the first show.
I would.
I would too.
I would love to go back and hear show number 1 of year number 1. We had different producers. We weren't on video.
Right.
A lot of things have changed over 24 years. But yeah, sometimes I think I'd like to go back and say, you guys never got any better at all.
So
as he approaches the tee and blasts one, a low line drive. It's going to be Tyler on the return now. And Tyler up the middle, trying to break a tackle, gets outside, look out, another big play, Tyler down the sideline, he will score, touchdown Frankfurt, they answer right back.
I drove home one night, it was around 11:30 on a Sunday night, and I said, you know what, I've been doing this, and I'm tired of doing it. And I felt the program was slipping. I just felt, hey, you know what, it's time for a younger guy. People said, did I miss football? I was busy and I didn't miss it. No, I missed Saturday. I'd go to the game and, I'd just sit up there and kind of wish I was going to do this or that. But I didn't miss all day Sunday. I didn't miss all day Monday. and all that preparation.
Five, three.
Rag 57! Rag 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw. Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
And we welcome you in downtown Morgantown, MetroNews Radio and Television Network Studios. 21st day of June, 2026. The CityNet Statewide Sportsline is on the air from the Health Plan Studios. Travis Jones along with the coach, Greg Hunter, live with you until 8 o'clock tonight as we wrap up another week of sports conversation across the Mountain States. The dog days have officially arrived as we're in our kind of our down period, at least in terms of WVU sports news, as with the wrap up the baseball season this past week. Do have some football recruiting news to get to you. We'll talk football, obviously, because that is now the shift of our focus, as we are counting down to the beginning of Mountaineer football season coming up in just over 2 months from now. Good evening, Coach Hunter.
Yeah, 1st of August will be the start of practice, so we really won't have that long to wait. With the extended baseball season, makes our window of, sort of quietness much, much shorter than it typically is. So, as you said, There's been baseball recruiting activity, as well as some of the transfers that Steve Sabins is attracting to replace those that are departing, are committing to West Virginia. So, we can take a little look at that. As you said, it is definitely a heavy time in terms of recruiting, though, for football, but isn't it always? Seemingly, as West Virginia picks up a couple more commitments over the weekend, now giving them 23 for the class of 2027. So we'll get into that as well, and probably look a lot into that is over the next couple of weeks, maybe it's just a little over a week. West Virginia has will finish up at camps over at Mountaineer Field and Milan Pushkar Stadium. They've had a lot of 7-on-7 individual type camps where prospects have come in, just teams have come in and worked out, but prospects have come in as well, and with that often come verbal commitments, and West Virginia has added to that list as well.
Yeah, certainly. All right, we'll discuss that. Got a few since we were last together. Obviously, a lot has transpired here in the last week since we were together. Baseball team wrapping up just a magical, historical, unbelievable season with the loss to North Carolina earlier in the week, who, by the way, staved off elimination to force a winner-take-all game. They won 6-2 against the Sooners of Oklahoma earlier today. So the national title game now essentially will be tomorrow night in the 7 or 7:30. I can't remember, first pitch on ESPN, in a winner-take-all between Oklahoma and North Carolina. And I know, Greg, you've probably already wax poetic on this season and look back on, what an unbelievable year and really doing what I don't think anybody thought was possible at one time. I mean, it was not only historic from a West Virginia standpoint, but it's not very often that a northern-based team makes that kind of run in college baseball.
No, you have a very good point. You look at historically those that have had that kind of success from, mid-Atlantic area all the way through the Big Ten territory. Michigan has won a couple of national championships, but it's been decades and decades. Ohio State in the 60s made the College World Series, but you have to go back to then. Pitt has made 3 college NCAA tournaments in its history and never gotten past a regional round and hasn't made a tournament in many, many years. Penn State has had minimal success, 1 NCAA tournament in the last 50 years for the Nittany Lions. I mean, really, if you want to go mid-Atlantic, Virginia won a national championship a few years ago. But outside of that, I mean, it's been few and far between for those that aren't Southern or Western-based programs. And West Virginia jumped into that, territory this year. And again, it's really hard to just follow that kind of success each and every year. As we saw, nobody in this year's Final 8 that made the College World Series were those that made it last year. So it was a completely new set. So it's hard to do. Last year's national champion, LSU, which won 2 of the 3, didn't even make the NCAA tournament. So sustaining such success is difficult. But I think West Virginia's positioned to that this won't be the last time we see them have a good run. Whether it's this good, I don't know. But your thoughts, as you said, I've gotten a lot of chance to wax about what I thought about the season. Your thoughts now that it's concluded?
Well, my immediate is I go back to when the season started and just the question marks that this team had surrounding it. And I can't help but think about the question marks in some of the other major sports that you're going to have basically every year now. But in the near future, you got some questions. You got question marks going into the football season. You definitely have those question marks coming into the basketball season with a completely rebuilt roster. And, baseball, to a lesser extent, had some major question marks. And, again, of all the things that Steve Saban and his staff can be credited for, once the first pitch is thrown, in game, the aggressiveness, the running, those type of things, they have just been so good at evaluating talent and going into lower levels and getting guys that have been ready to play, made ready to step up and play at this level. And we've seen that continuously over the last handful of years. Hopefully that continues. They're batting 1,000 really on a lot of those guys, to use in baseball terms. But that's the first strike to me, is just how everything fell into place. This team, probably in some ways overperformed expectations. Well, definitely overperformed expectations, but, even overperformed and it just clicked. And, we've seen, unfortunately in this new age of college athletics, we've seen it go the other way.
Yeah, sure.
Where you miss on guys, or if you bring in talented guys, they just don't mesh, or, whatever the case may be. That's my first thought. My second thought, which I think is now the question that creeps in your mind, and that is, how much can you benefit off of this season now in the near future? We've seen runs like this in football to the national championship. We've seen runs like this to the Final Four in men's basketball, and you immediately think, oh, okay, so how much equity do you have off of this, and how is it going to affect the near future in your recruiting and keeping the momentum going? We've seen it in men's basketball and football, and quite honestly, it didn't have as big of effect there that I think we hoped. Baseball might be a different story. Do you feel that way? Do you think you're going to be – and, not only on the success, notoriety that you got. But then, the country roads thing caught fire, and you got all kinds of clout over that. So just from that standpoint, do you think that West Virginia will be able to cash in more on this uprising for the baseball team than they did previously and some of those high water marks for football and men's basketball?
Well, I do think they are, and I'll give you the reasons, and I've used a little bit of this before, but, football and men's basketball had equally as high water marks themselves, but they still, when you came to trying to procure talent, they were still having to deal with Ohio State, Penn State, Pitt, Maryland, Syracuse, all those around you that were still really, really high level that continued to recruit at a high level. So it's not like you had this huge advantage. You had the ability to utilize the PR you got out of those, but it wasn't like you were the only one in the area. And I'm not certain you don't have that kind of advantage in football just because the names are in the schools that I just went through. Ohio State, Pitt, Penn State, Syracuse doesn't even play baseball. Maryland's fair but not great. Virginia Tech's fair but not great. Virginia at times has been really good, but they have been able to sustain it. So those sort of dealing with local schools that you would compete for talent aren't necessarily in the same realm that they are in football and basketball that you still had to fend off in past years. And then you add in some of the resources that West Virginia has, especially that biomechanics center, that nobody else has, for the most part. And you can sell like crazy right now and just point to the development of the players that you've brought in here and say, okay, we've got the highest tech stuff available to you. Others don't have this. So I think West Virginia is poised to utilize those advantages that it didn't necessarily have in the other sports, if that makes sense.
It does. And I think the other question that always creeps into my mind is, and we don't have the answers right now, but that is, what is the NIL world? What is the NIL price tag currently in college baseball? And where is West Virginia positioned to get some of the top, portal guys?
Yeah. And I mean, again, West Virginia's often dipped down to lower levels, which you would just think by general belief that it's not going to be quite as costly as if you go after a Power 4 transfer.
Yeah, it seems like you can get it's like every other sport right now. You can get a couple of those guys.
Yeah. But I also don't think West Virginia is in a bad NIL situation. I'm not saying that it has the same kind of money as, some of Georgia or Texas or, name the SEC school that you want. But I think it's...
Or even Oklahoma, probably. North Carolina to a lesser extent.
True.
Although they invest in baseball.
Yeah, and they have, and they've had a great run for many years. But I think West Virginia's in a reasonable state in that regard, and I think they've, you just have to continue to invest wisely, right? I mean, we've seen from inside the program itself in terms of what they've done in terms of full scholarships, in terms of 30 full scholarships. That's a huge price tag for the university in its own right. So. Yep. They were able to fund that dollar, and then now you have to get the over the cap number to help you. But again, baseball is not nearly as expensive as men's basketball or football. You have to be willing and ready to pay. But I think that there are opportunities there that you can do so without spending $1 million per player like you have to in many of the top men's basketball prospects that are around. So we'll see. Some of it, again, is retention. West Virginia has 4 fairly high-level draft-eligible players that could or could not come back. Probably all 4 may or likely will be drafted. But do you have the money to make it enticing for them to return for a senior season? That may be as much what you're bidding against right now as other schools. Not saying that anybody can transfer. And West Virginia has had guys already hit the portal, and there will be others as well. But I don't think they're losing players right now to more high-priced offers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we'll go through the roster coming up and kind of dissect who potentially could be some returners from that team a year ago. The other thing that I thought about while watching all this unfold and just kind of putting myself into the mind of Ren Baker as he observed, this love affair with the baseball program, particularly this season, but last season to some extent. But, this year it absolutely caught fire, particularly with the super regional crowd. I mean, he's got to be thinking this thing's, hotter than a firecracker right now. How can you get the purse strings open? Because there's no better time than right now to try to capitalize on where the baseball program is outside of selling season tickets, and you've only got a limited number of those. You obviously can't turn around and build luxury boxes in 8 months to have those ready. But I'm sure the wheels are turning there, trying to figure out ways to monetize what this baseball team just did.
And do so, like you said, in an efficient manner. Because, again, baseball is not going to be a profit maker for you in terms of a program.
Yeah.
So you want to maximize it as much as possible, but you also have to do so with the mindset that we're never going to turn a profit in terms of Ren Baker's thought in baseball. No schools do, right? I mean, we've said it before. Football and men's basketball is the only ones that turn profits. So how much do you put into programs that are going to be losers financially for you, but also you can make a lot of goodwill off of, as we saw this year, with success.
Yeah, for sure. All right, 6:22. When we come back, we'll recap the verbals from this past weekend, or this weekend, and the last few days. We've had a few come in here over the last since the weekend started. That's coming up. Failed to mention Happy Father's Day to all the dads in our listening audience.
You too, Travis.
As well, Coach Hunter. And also, happy birthday, West Virginia. Today's West Virginia's birthday as well. So a lot to celebrate on this Sunday night. All right, coming up, more Sportsline on the way. You obviously can always be a part of the show via text at 304-TALK-304, or you can call us at 800-765-8255. Sportsline continues on the other side.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. For years, rural communities in West Virginia waited for reliable, high-speed internet. Now, fiber is most likely at your front door. Public investment helped build the opportunity, and CityNet delivered the service to homes and businesses just like yours. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can count on, switching to fiber has never been easier. Fast downloads, smooth streaming, better connections for work, school, and everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Kids are active, and sometimes injuries happen. At WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, our orthopedics team specializes in caring for growing bones, joints, and muscles. From sports injuries and fractures to scoliosis and complex conditions, we provide advanced treatment with a gentle touch, because kids deserve care designed just for them. Call 855-WVU-CARE to schedule an evaluation, or visit WVUkids.com.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
here for you.
The health plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sportsline is underway. 304 Talk 304 800 765 8255 is the phone number. Texter says, to think North Carolina was a drop foul ball away from not even being in Omaha.
Good point.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a story. And, you know, Travis, paying more attention now, and not just this year, but in recent years to baseball compared to others, I do think that the ability to advance in baseball comes down to a fraction of an inch, even more so than basketball and football, because every story is like North Carolina or West Virginia against Kentucky. How close was West Virginia to not getting out of the regional? And yet it finds a way past Kentucky and then ultimately makes it to Omaha. And the same for North Carolina in their own super regional.
Yeah, then you had North Carolina yesterday, outfielders running into each other, and just all the things that they didn't do against West Virginia. And to think, WVU lost one of their top returning pitchers after the season started. Whatever went down with Chase Meyer.
Didn't work.
Yep.
Whatever, coach decided it wasn't a good fit, and it wasn't physical.
Okay. Steve from Philippi. Hey, guys, is Shawnee State going to play in the MEC this season? How many men's and women's sports do they have? They are. They'll be the 12th team to come into the Mountain East Conference. I'll have to look.
They're developing football, if memory serves
coming.
right, but
they've hired a coach.
Yeah, but will they play this year?
They will not. No.
Okay.
No, they're. I think football is 2027, I believe.
Okay.
And so they will be. I'll tell you here. Hang on one second.
Yeah,
I think they
coming
have everything
in 2028. It
Yeah.
says in football. I'm looking.
Oh, 2028.
28. So they probably
They have a
lot of athletic programs.
Yeah, baseball, basketball, bowling, cross country, golf, track and field, soccer, swimming, tennis. Women, they have A&T, acrobatics and tumbling, basketball, bowling, cross country, golf, track and field, soccer, softball, swimming, tennis, and volleyball.
So outside of wrestling, they probably have about everything that the MEC sponsors.
Yeah,
right.
Plus some. Yeah. Obviously, bowling is one that. Trying to see who they play in bowling. Yeah, just a bunch of tournaments. Can't tell you. They don't have any regular season.
Yeah. So looking for programs to fill a hole or two in the MEC. It sounds like a good fit.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And Mark Snyder is their head football coach, former Marshall coach. And I know that they're trying to raise some money to beef up their football facility as well. So, Shawnee will be in starting this coming, they'll start with the fall sports.
Yeah, golf coming up soon, right?
Yep.
So, like I said, and as we know, with golf and some of the others, we talk about scholastic season is over. Well, we'll start hearing about golf to start with in actual matches in mid-August.
Yeah, for actually 1st of August. Yeah, so it'll be here before you know. What ranking did we end up with? I'm assuming you're talking about the baseball team The final ranking will come out once the national championship is
I don't
over.
think it's not been announced yet. So, but yeah, there's still college games or college game, one more to go. So, some point after tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't know where. Again, it'd be easy to say they should be in the top 4 because they finished top 4, but if they're in the top 10, I think that'd be really, really wonderful.
Yeah, I would think that if they're not, that's something wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Coach Hunter, West Virginia has picked up 3 verbal commitments from this past, Friday on, including a non-traditional position.
Yeah, long snapper. And in the past, you would just say, oh, they're going to bring in a bunch of specialists as walk-ons, and they'll sort them out. And after that, you figure out in a couple of years who can actually help you. But in today's world, that's not true because of your roster limits, not necessarily even scholarship limits, but it certainly appears that Warren Flatt, who is from Aurora, Illinois, which is Chicago, a long snapper. I mean, you can't miss and bring in 4 a year like you used to. You've got to be pretty judicious in making sure that those kids are going to be able to develop and help you. Like a lot of specialists, not just snappers, but punters and kickers, they go to these national camps. Cole is the biggest of those, and he participated in that, performed very well, left there with a lot of interest, and ultimately headed to West Virginia. Now, again, like everybody that we're talking about in the class of 27, these are guys who haven't even started their senior seasons of high school yet. So they've got a few more months before their senior seasons begin. Then they'll sign with their respective colleges. I think it's December 2nd. And then most nowadays are enrolling for the start of the spring semester in January. So Warren Flatt is the long snapper that is part of this class. Then over the weekend, West Virginia picks up.
How about Warren Flatt, 6'5"?
6'5" long snapper.
Pointing out, yeah.
Yeah, no, very good, very good point there. 200 pounds, but again, on a 6'5" frame, that's a kid that in a couple of years of development will be able to add a ton. Now, again, is he a guy that potentially could step in 27? McGuire Moss, who's handled West Virginia's long snapping the last couple of years and is expected to do so this year. He'll be a senior this coming season. So they'll need a new long snapper next year, and maybe Warren Flatt will be that guy that could potentially step in. And then over the weekend, West Virginia dipped into Georgia not once but twice. So they now have 23 verbal commitments in this class. 7 of those are from the state of Georgia. The latest of those, a tight end named Luke Linder, 6'3", 215 pounds, from Mableton, Georgia, Whitefield Academy, is a kid that has, again, like most of these in Rich's class, a solid offer list. Cincinnati, East Carolina, Memphis, bunch of other mid-majors in there as well. But kid who's been very productive as a blocker, going to need to add some weight onto that 215-pound frame. But, West Virginia has seen him, likes him, and likes his physical ability. And then they went into a high school that they know very well because Rich and staff have recruited from Sandy Creek High School quite often. This time they get an offensive lineman named Ryan Moore, 6'4", 300 pounds. All he did last year was block for Amir Latimer, the running back who is now at West Virginia University. Of course, his older brother, Jameer Latimer, who is transferred to WVU, is going to be a safety for West Virginia this coming year, also is a graduate of Sandy Creek. So Rich and his staff know that high school well because remember, Jameer was recruited by Rich when he was at Jacksonville State. So they knew that school and have dipped back into them. Now, he has a really nice offer list of a bunch of Power 4s as well. So Louisville, North Carolina, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State, Pitt, Purdue, Rutgers, South Carolina, and others. on for him. Now, he's going to be an interior guy. You watch his highlight film, very much a road grader type, 6'4", 300. Probably needs to get a little bit more athletic, but he'll be a guard center type of player for West Virginia. But as I said, 23 overall, now have 3 offensive line commitments in this class. And as I said, the one thing that really jumps out is West Virginia dipping into the state of Georgia. I mean, it's not like they never have had Georgia kids in the past, but the number that they've gotten so far from there puts it at a different realm than it has been in the past.
So with that, West Virginia now 28th in One Services rankings with this 2027 class with 23 commits. Now for the Mountaineers, that puts the Mountaineers currently at third in the Big 12, behind Texas Tech, Kansas State, and then West Virginia. All right. So, looking at this, Texas Tech has 2 5-star and 8 4-stars, so they're far and away the lead. Kansas State just has 1 more 3-star recruit than West Virginia. Both have the same amount of 4-star recruits. So, again, this is 24/7. Not that it matters, but, West Virginia is within shooting distance of being the second best rated class in the Big 12.
Yeah, close. Now, again, I think we're all going to have to get used to, as long as the rules remain completely wide open, Texas Tech being able to have the biggest bank account and thus being able to go out and just outright purchase than most players. Again, that's their advantage, and they're taking full use of it. So the Red Raiders are going to get the highest ranked classes, and this seems to be another one of those.
Bottom 4 in the rankings: Arizona, Oklahoma State, Baylor, and BYU. BYU's certainly a different bird, but Baylor, would you be alarmed, Coach Hunter, if this was the Baylor Sunday Night Sportsline and you're sitting here in late June and you have 8 recruits, 8 verbals at 2027?
Yeah, probably. I know I've said in the past that I don't freak out too much about recruiting in June because you have 6 months to go before you even sign on the dotted line, and obviously about 3 or 4 years to go before you can accurately assess it. But again, in today's world where so many recruits are, committing earlier and earlier, you definitely want to be on board as much as possible. So now again, Baylor just think that they need to continue to dive into the transfer portal heavier and heavier. So they're keeping open roster spots more for the portal than high school guys. I mean, it does change things now because some schools just have different philosophies on what they want to do in terms of high school recruiting compared to the portal.
And just a quick check on our friends down in Cabell County. The Marshall Thundering Herd 24/7 does not like Tony Gibson's class at all. 18 commits in 2027, currently ranked next to last in the Sun Belt with 18 verbals, as I mentioned. Only 1 3-star, so they've rated the other 17 at 2 stars or less. So
probably sort of a little bit of the same. I mean, especially mid-majors are going to depend on transfers as much as anyone. So we've seen Gibby's 2 teams jump deep, or 2 classes jump deep into the portal. So probably a similar sort of thing. And again, I don't completely dismiss recruiting services and their rankings, because typically those that are at the top of the recruiting services are the ones that are going to compete for the championships. But I think it gets harder and harder once you get into the group of 5 schools, because differentiating between a 2-star and a 3-star can be really, really difficult.
Well, and how many times we've seen a kid is a 3-star, commits to West Virginia, drops to a 2-star.
Yeah, happens all the time.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a 5-star kid, the odds, and it's not perfect, but the odds are you're pretty good. But we've seen a bazillion 2 and 3 stars become really, really good, and you just never know. I'll take all the 5 stars I can get. After that, I think it's more of a crapshoot.
Speaking of the top, Texas A&M number 1, Miami number 2, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Oregon. The top 5, Texas Tech is 6 nationally currently. Texas 7th, Florida 8, Auburn 9, Virginia Tech at number 10 with their new coaching staff. Clemson 11, Southern Cal 12, Georgia 13. The Buckeyes, Ohio State, a little low for where they normally are, 14. UCLA 15, Penn State 16, Nebraska 17. Here's the surprise of the top 25 currently. Cal at number 18. They've got 8 3-star guys with 22 total commits. Wisconsin, LSU, Michigan, Kentucky, the new coaching staff, 22. Georgia Tech, 23. Minnesota, 24. Washington, 25. Kansas State, 26. Louisville, 27. West Virginia, 28. Ole Miss, 29. And the Pitt Panthers, currently 30th. So,
yeah, if again, we'll see how it works, and not that it's a end-all, be-all, but if West Virginia finishes in the top 30, that's a high mark for the Mountaineers. They rarely are there.
By the way, the top player in the 2027 class, according to 24/7, is Jalen Brewster, defensive lineman. He is currently verbaled to the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. So someone that West Virginia could very well see in the not-so-distant future.
I'm not industrious enough to keep track, but in a few years, I'd like to see how many of those guys not just hit, but still are with the same original school that they signed with. Because there's so much transition
Very few.
anymore.
Very few. Matter of fact, I can probably tell you here. Let's go back to 2024. Well, Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. He's there.
Yep. Yeah, Gino's nephew.
Yep, that's right. Unfortunately, not in the portal, not in West Virginia. Some of these other guys you'd have to look. Ellis Robinson, Georgia. Cam Coleman, Auburn. Ryan Coleman-Williams, Alabama. I know he was there. Not sure if he's still there. Justin Williams, linebacker, Georgia. So just kind of perusing here. See if anybody else sticks out to me.
I'll do some search.
Micah Hudson, wide receiver, Texas Tech. 16th overall player. But yeah, you're right. Less and less. That's going to happen for sure with the open transfers, a possibility. 17 till the top. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Sportsline continues in a moment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
For couples that are experiencing infertility, about half will have the male factor in the diagnosis. At the WVU Medicine Center for Reproductive Medicine, we offer a wide array of treatment options for male factor infertility. There's really no reason you would need to go anywhere else. If we can identify and treat male factor infertility, we can prevent couples from even having to go down the road of IVF, saving you potentially money and time. We're here to help build a family. We have the capabilities and we care.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Well, while we're talking about how quickly time is moving here, we are just about 2 months away from the annual prediction show, which will be on, let me check my dates here. That will be on August 30th. August 30th. So, yeah, so 2 months, 9 days ahead of the September 5th.
Can you give us a peek? What you're going to do?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
No, I'm not ready either.
I need you to. I don't know. I think this is going to be a hard one. I'll say that. I mean, they're all hard, and at the end of the day, the accuracy is complete crapshoot. But I don't know. I just don't have a feeling. I didn't have a feeling last year either.
It's hard. I mean, it's very hard. I mean, short, Reader's Digest version. I think this team is a good bit more talented, but that doesn't mean that it's all going to manifest itself on the field. And I also don't think the schedule's as difficult as it was.
Yep, agreed with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards bowl eligibility at this point, but we'll see. Okay, a couple things here on the texters. We were talking team recruiting. So Indiana's not even in the top 30 in those recruiting rankings. No. Matter of fact, Indiana's near the bottom in their own conference currently. 15 current verbals as we sit here. They're currently 14th in the 18-team Big Ten. So right now.
Which tells you shouldn't put a whole lot of stock into it because with what Indiana has done the last 2 years under Kurt Cignetti, you get a feeling that they know what they're doing. And again, they heavy use in transfers.
Yeah, for
with
sure.
Hoosiers.
Greg in Lake Norman. Please tell me Rich is recruiting a holder named Scruggs to pair up with his new long snapper, Flat. Unfortunately, only us old guys will get that.
If you watch enough Beverly Hillbillies, you'd remember it. They were on Beverly Hillbillies a lot. I know that from the reruns than others, but Flat and Scruggs was a fine and nationally known, at least in the Circle Bluegrass group.
If
ever make it onto Hee Haw?
What's that?
Ever make it onto Hee Haw?
I think they
have
would.
to.
Yeah, I believe they're wrong with Roy Clark. If WVU gets 3 late flips like they did last year in Brown, Sieg, and Latimer, they will vault into the top 20 in recruiting rankings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, no doubt. They're poised for sure. Sitting there. Other news, we spoke about this last week, and we didn't realize that we might have a resolution quicker than we anticipated because we thought it might be bound for court. However, as of right now, there does look like there is a resolution to the Brendan Sorsby situation at Texas Tech, although the Big 12 presidents and chancellors aren't yet convinced. They announced on Friday they are not rushing to pull their recent federal lawsuit because there are still questions about Sorsby's NFL future and any possible legal retribution. The Big 12 Board of Directors expected to have a call early this coming week to discuss the next steps. Some have questioned what, if any, liability could exist for the conference or how it'll play out given the NFL and Sorsby admitted history of gambling. According to a source inside the league, we don't have any answers to those questions. We haven't done anything different to this point. We're going to reconvene next week to run through all the options. Right now, the case is still active. The Big 12 filed that federal lawsuit a week ago Monday in the Northern District of Texas, seeking both a declaratory judgment and injunction relief to allow the league the authority to use its bylaws to potentially punish Sorsby. The NFL needs to approve Sorsby's application for the supplemental draft, which will take place later this summer. However, history not on his side in terms of even being selected. They haven't had a supplemental draft since 2023, and no one has been selected in that supplemental draft since 2019 when the Cardinals picked up safety Jalen Thompson with a fifth-round bid. The last quarterback to enter a supplemental draft was Terrell Pryor, who was a third-round pick for the Raiders in 2011.
Okay, I'll ask you or give my thought to begin with. And hey, I don't wish ill will towards the kid. Obviously, he did stuff that was wrong and very much against the rules of the sport he was dealing with. But if I'm an NFL team, I'm really leery. I mean, let's put your Pittsburgh Steelers, who could use a bright young quarterback.
Well, who reportedly have been doing their due diligence on this possibility.
If you're the Steelers or you're a Steeler fan, do you take Brendan Sorsby? I don't care what round it is at any point in the supplemental draft.
No, I wouldn't. Not without, I don't know where he is in his treatment. But I would think you would have to at least get some type of guarantee, some type of good prognosis that he wouldn't, do the same thing once he was in the National Football League. So I don't know. I mean, again, it's a no-win situation for anybody involved, but I think we're all in agreement that he should not be playing college football this coming season.
Yeah.
So
that definitely, and I'd be a little concerned if my NFL team took him.
Yep, agreed.
Just because it could be a whole cancerous situation for your whole program.
Speaking of legal situations and the Big 12, a judge on Thursday dismissed the first-degree felony rape charge against former BYU wide receiver Parker Kingston. The prosecutors said that they planned to refile the charge, so it was dismissed without prejudice. The case was scheduled for trial in July, but Utah state prosecutors requested a continuance. According to the Washington County Attorney's Office, the court denied the request and instead dismissed the case without prejudice, meaning the state can refile the case. Kingston's attorney declined to comment. He was BYU's leading wide receiver last season. He was charged in February in St. George following a year-long investigation. He has pleaded not guilty. So, his, football days, he's probably not going to play this year, but that'll determine whether, that will be determined, I would imagine, whether they refile the charges.
Yeah.
We know this. He won't play for BYU next year.
No, it's, with some of the stipulations they have within just their student body.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all the particulars of the case, but you would think that that'd be problematic.
Coach Hunter Texter wants you to put on your television executive hat and guess, where do you think the WVU North Carolina game will be on TV that day? The Steelers in Denver at 3, WVU in Utah, 6 p.m.
I mean, it's certainly a good and reasonable question. I don't think the Steeler game will impact it. I'd have to see what networks are carrying what, but you would think that the networks would be a little bit leery of splitting their audience with West Virginia, but there's going to be other games that are other events that are on that day, so it's not like you're going to be able to avoid all of them and have a window just to itself.
Mm-hmm.
So I would think afternoon, but it is a reasonable and good question. I don't know which. What do you're better at TV forecasts than I.
I mean, I would think early. It's certainly not going to be late, and I do agree with you. I mean, you would think. So WVU Utah is on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Do we even know who has the basketball game yet?
No, I don't think they do.
Okay.
And if it's considered a North Carolina home game for TV purposes, what their networks I think are ABC, ESPN.
Yeah. How about the SEC network? Well,
Sure. Well, it could be an ACC network.
Could be the ACC network. It very well could be. Yep.
Yeah.
Could be.
But we'll see. People may want to be able to watch the Steelers and the Mountaineers. You may have to have your multi-view ready. But I would really doubt that football and basketball for the West Virginia will be going at the same time. That's happened in the past, but it's normally been a bowl game or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to schedule way in advance.
Texter says, I read an article by Richard Johnson of CBSSports.com stating that the Texas Attorney General's threat to the Big 12 actually backfired and gave the league a strong ground to seek a declarative judgment in their favor. Nice job, Ken Paxton. Yeah, let's hope that was the case. Yep.
Every time some politician gets involved in an outside thing, you just have to shake your head and wonder what their real reasoning is.
No doubt. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We're going to run through the baseball roster when we return, and Coach Hunter can give you his best guess on what it might look like, at least of the guys that have the ability to return. We'll do that when we come back.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
What do you know about hot dogs? Because we've been all about hot dogs this week.
I love hot dogs, and I love them with Miracle Whip.
Oh, God, I forgot. Never mind.
And onions.
Okay.
I actually, yesterday morning, I had a hot dog for breakfast at 6:45 with onions and Miracle Whip.
And with that, we'll be back right after this.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing, that they didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
All right, Sportsline continues just past 7 o'clock on this Sunday night on Father's Day 2026. Thanks for joining us on the show. It's gone final at the U.S. Open as the Wyndham Clark hangs on for the victory as he picked up a one-stroke lead with 4 under to pick up the win earlier today in New York. Sam Burns, 1 stroke off. Tom Kim, 1 under, 3 strokes off the lead. And then 4th place, JT Poston, Keith Mitchell, and Scotty Scheffler finished even par at the U.S. Open. Very good. Mm-hmm. I was just checking here. I know I've mentioned this before, but I always like to see the old countdown because it's not far off. I mentioned the prediction show, right, is on the 30th.
Yep.
We'll have, as we sit here on the 30th, we will have had about 7 college football games already played.
Oh, my.
Including the Virginia Cavaliers will have already played a game. So at least we can make an educated guess on the Virginia game by that point. Yeah, the first college football game is on the 29th at noon. It's North Carolina and TCU in Dublin, Ireland. Got San Jose State and USC that afternoon at 3. NC State and Virginia in Charlottesville, 3:30 on ESPN. Jacksonville State, North Dakota State, 5:30 on CBS Sportsnet. Sacramento State, Eastern Michigan, 6:30. Hawaii and Stanford, 7 o'clock. New Mexico State and Florida State on the C-Dub. And then the late game on Fox is Memphis and UNLV from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Well, you can tell it's June 21st when I'm thinking, you know what, I'm looking forward to that Jacksonville State, North Dakota State game.
Anything, everything.
Give me football,
yeah.
any kind.
Certainly because West Virginia plays Virginia a couple weeks later in Charlotte. That one's interesting. Of course, that one was the one that was going to be played in Brazil, week 0 against NC State. But I never got a good explanation as to what happened. But a few weeks ago, they canceled the trip. The game is still on, but playing it. Is it going to be in Charlottesville? I forget which.
Yeah, it's Charlotte. Yeah, maybe Charlottesville.
Well, I never did get a good explanation why they called off the game in Brazil, which I think was going to be the first major college game ever in the country, South American country, Brazil.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, but if somebody's seen why and want to text us in, maybe it's out there, but I haven't seen it either. But I wouldn't think Virginia and North Carolina State are loving the fact, particularly NC State, that now all of a sudden they have to play a conference game the first week of the season on the road.
Though I think it was going to be officially non-conference because it was they scheduled it. I mean, even though they're two ACC schools, they'd already had their fill of ACC teams on their schedule. So this was technically going to be a non-conference game. And they were having to clear some hurdles because normally it couldn't be a week 0 game unless it got a special exemption, which it could because it was going to be out of the country. But now that it's moved back, when the NCAA permitted, again, there's some hurdles they had to clear. So, and not that we care a lot about any of that other than the fact that a few weeks later, the Cavaliers are going to travel to Charlotte and face West Virginia, which to me is an incredibly important game for WVU this season. Because, again, as we saw last year at Ohio, you can't ever just count on anything. But you would think that third game of the season against a good but not great ACC school is one that's going to give us a major indication of what direction West Virginia's headed this year.
Speaking of that game, Texter says, have you guys seen the ticket prices? Pretty steep. I hadn't looked yet, but I just did, and the texter is correct as of right now. Again, things this will change, but right now it looks like your in the door price, Coach Hunter, is going to run you about $186 just to get in. That's you're talking 500 section. Up where you're, watching the airplanes come into Charlotte International Airport. If you want to be in the 300s, you're going to pay mid fives, close to 1,000 to be near the 50, and then the 100 section, about the same thing. You could get end zone for upwards to $400. 50-yard line seats, you're going to be close to $500, $600, and then club seating, you're talking about $1,000 right now per ticket.
Yeah,
so it's steep price. Again, if you're planning on going to this game and getting secondary market tickets, and you've never done this before, which I know that there's probably not a lot of you out there because our listeners are pretty savvy. Wait. Always wait.
Well, and I would think especially for this game, which I think there's going to be a nice crowd, but I don't think it's going to sell out.
Yeah, it's a lot of seats.
Yeah, there are a lot of seats. And I don't even think right now you have to go to the secondary market yet. So, yep. I think both universities will have those on sale. But again, as we've seen in the past, major college football isn't cheap no matter what. And a lot of times these neutral site games, the ticket is more expensive because there's a promoter that's trying to make money, and they're having to have a payout to the two universities. So the price of these is usually above and beyond what a normal home game would be.
That's correct. That's correct. Is Mayo, Duke's Mayo involved in this?
I think it does. I think it is called the Duke's Mayo.
Yeah, kickoff game or something. Yeah, I think so too. Does Rich get a Mayo bath if they win, or is that just for the bowl?
Good question. When they had it down there for the bowl game a couple years ago, the media gift was a little bottle of Duke's Mayo. I would think they've cleaned it up since, but I left mine in the press box. So
what? I did this was back in COVID. I called the first ever Duke's Mayo Bowl, which was Wake Forest in Wisconsin. And I'll never forget, we arrived at the stadium and there was a line of people. I thought, oh, that's a line of people to get in, this early, because it was very early.
Yeah.
No, as we got closer and closer to the end of the line, I realized that, there were 200 some people in line to get a jar of mayonnaise. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I would not stand in a 2-minute line to get a free jar of mayonnaise.
Hey, the $6 you can go to the grocery store and get it.
I'm just like, people will stand in line for something free.
It is called, by the way, the Duke's Mayo Classic, so
go.
it still has the naming rights.
All right, very good. Following up on the television schedule question, Texter says, my mistake, WVU football is at night. Yeah, the time listed that you mentioned was local time for Salt Lake.
Yeah.
It's actually 9 p.m. Eastern is the kickoff. So there's a pretty healthy window there of time that the TV networks can get the basketball game in. Let's see here. Andy and Romney, happy Father's Day. Travis and Coach Hunter, thanks for all your great sports coverage. Thank you, Andy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to you and yours.
Absolutely. Carl in Wyoming, the state, not the county. I'll never understand how you can play a conference opponent and still be considered non-conference.
Yeah,
good point.
We've seen a few of those over the years. And
happened in the Big 12, right?
Well, you know what? I think
it did when BYU and Utah came in. There were some there were previously scheduled games that were, non-conference at the time.
Yeah. Though even like last year's Iowa State-Kansas State game in Ireland had me confused for the longest period of time whether that was conference or non-conference. It ended up being a conference game. But we've seen that. And I'll admit it's a little bit odd. In how that works. So that's I would agree, but again, TV purposes, scheduling purposes, I think that makes it pretty good for those people. But I wouldn't like it. I mean, you only get the opportunity to play 3 non-conference games a year. One of those should be some sort of tune-up, maybe even 2, and then you'd like to have some sort of nice regional non-conference opponent. If you miss that opportunity, that would be a shame.
Certainly. All right. Appreciate the question and comment there, Coach Hunter. Let's talk baseball here.
Okay.
Real quickly. You remarked at the top of the broadcast that West Virginia has some return eligible folks to come back. Kind of take us through what your thought process is.
So, West Virginia has a bunch of seniors who are completely out of eligibility. So those guys, Brody Kressers of the world, Paul Schoenfield, Matthew Gravelin, those guys are finished. Ben McDougal from just down the road in your neck of the woods in Bridgeport. So those guys are all college eligibility. Of course, everybody that has eligibility left is also eligible to transfer, so you can't say who's exactly coming back. The baseball transfer portal window is open from June 1st to June 30th. So we're starting to see a few Mountaineer players announce that they are entering the portal and trickling out. But so far, the ones that have done that are players who saw very little, if any, action in the past. So they're looking for opportunities. But there are 4 players that have been in college for at least 3 years and still have eligibility remaining. But also, because they've been in college for at least 3 years, also are now draft eligible by the Major League Baseball programs. So that is 2 pitchers, in Dawson Montesa and Max Yale, and then 2 position players in Armani Guzman and Tyrus Hall. Unlike football or basketball, you don't declare that you're going into the draft. If you're draft eligible, they can take you, and then starts a negotiating process. Give me enough money, I'll jump into your system, go to your minor leagues or wherever. Otherwise, I'll go back to college. Now, colleges also have ability to pay them as well, some amount, and try to retain them. So among those 4 players, all have draft possibilities. I wouldn't discount any of those being drafted. The Major League Baseball draft is now 20 rounds. It used to be like 40. Now it's down to 20. So there are fewer players that are drafted. But I think there are opportunities for all of them, especially Yale, Montesa, and Guzman to be drafted. But even if you're not drafted, you can sign a undrafted free agency contract, sort of like we see in the NFL. And we've seen players that have eligibility left decide to take an undrafted free agency option. So just because you're not drafted doesn't preclude you from trying to jump into the minor leagues. But all 4 of them go. 4 for 4, maybe not, but usually if you get drafted, you go. But that's sort of a little bit of an old school thinking, because it used to be if you got drafted your junior year, you almost always went. Very, very rarely did you come back. Now that there is an NIL out there, there are some options and opportunities to make enough to make it worth your while to return, and then hopefully you can up your stock going into your senior year. But again, the thinking in the past was you didn't really up your stock any your senior year, so it wasn't worth your while. Does that change a little bit now? It could, but it doesn't necessarily. So those are the 4 players to keep an eye on when the draft happens next month, to see what happens to them in terms of where they're drafted, and then what kind of contracts they're offered, and are they going to, return to college or not. To me, of all of them, Guzman's the one that I keep the closest eye on, because I think he is a guy that definitely has draft, possibilities. But I think one that West Virginia badly wants to keep, and they'll try to find an offer and try to find a sweet spot to keep him. I'm not saying they don't want the others, but it may be too costly to keep Montesa in Yale. That just may be out the window.
Okay.
Guzman's the one that's sort of right there on the fence, that they would like to keep. They're going to have to figure out if they can afford that. And then I think they want to keep Hall, but I don't think he's as much of a definite drafted guy as the others.
Earlier this week, Greg, there was something about some potential changes in the Major League Baseball draft. Yes. I read it, but I didn't really absorb it. Can you kind of explain what that?
Yeah, Kyle and I went over that. And first of all, this is just a proposal. So it's not in effect yet. It's something that will have to be approved. The next collectively bargained agreement between the ownership of Major League Baseball and the Players Union it expires December 1st, I think it was. So this is anything that will happen this year, but it is potential for next year. But it would be pretty significant in terms of some of the things in the draft. And there are a bunch of other changes that are included in that. But just from a draft perspective and how it would impact the college game, first of all, it would prohibit major league teams from drafting any high school players. Or anybody until you reach, I think it's the age of 20. So that's a major change. It puts it online very much with the NFL and the NBA, right? That you have to have at least a year in college, from those regards. Obviously in football, even a little bit more too. So there's that. There are also some other things in there in terms of salary pools for those that are in. It reduces the number of rounds, but it also would make players draft eligible after 2 college years rather than 3. So it would mean that the top flight high school players would go to college for at least 2 years, which would certainly change the talent pool now, because now the top, I don't even know what the number is, top 100 high school players not only are drafted, but get contracts worthy of them skipping college and going straight into the minor leagues. Those players will now come to college. So you'll get a greater talent level in the college game. So that part is interesting. But again, this is all just a proposal. The Players Union has already come out and doesn't like parts of this proposal. So there'll be a negotiating battle between the two sides over how this works. But that's what they're proposing right now.
Rich and Kaiser, Ben McDougal pitched 2 years at Pot State, a JUCO. Can he petition the NCAA to get 2 years of eligibility?
That's something that is now looks like it's not going to happen anymore. I mean, not just for Ben, but that rule for the junior college players, or that thought that they could utilize that. And West Virginia had some that went through that, Brody Kresser as well. But the NCAA has pretty much closed that loophole.
Wasn't Pat White drafted out of high school
Yes.
for baseball?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't remember which team drafted him. Somebody drafted him, and he turned that down for the opportunity to play football.
I had a question. Maybe this is a dumb question, and I probably know the answer, and I've forgotten the answer. What happened with the Ohio series in football? You played in Athens in 2025. Was that just a one-year deal?
I think it was a return game for something that happened
way earlier.
Okay. I'll have to look.
I'm blanking on what year that would have been. They were in Morgantown.
I don't know. I'll look it up and see when the last time
Okay, well,
they
good.
were.
It wasn't a dumb question because you didn't say, "Hey, dummy, don't you remember?"
I certainly don't think that West Virginia played a one-off in Athens. Nothing against the Bobcats or Athens or anything like that.
Well, I'll tell you the latest. Okay, so that'd be one heck of a return because the last time they came to Morgantown was in 2001.
Okay.
So how about I may have asked a good question there.
Okay.
What happened to the other game in that series?
It is a good
no
question.
Way there's 24 years.
No. West Virginia plays them at home again next year.
Gotcha.
So
that's kind of weird,
and actually
isn't it?
for 2 years. They play them, I thought this was the case. It was a 2-for-1.
Gotcha.
But the first one was in Athens. And then you play the Bobcats in Morgantown in 07, in 09, or 27 and 29.
Okay.
So
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Usually there's not a break there.
Yeah, a little unusual, but some of it always sort of works out as to how many home games you have. Don't really have to have another home game this year. Ohio can use a home game, so that's part of that process.
Darn it. I wanted revenge.
Yeah. Well, you'll get opportunities. You're just going to have to wait a little longer.
All right, very good.
I don't think anybody.
As long as that quarterback graduates.
Yeah, he graduates, and I don't think anybody from West Virginia wants to have to go back to Athens.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't mind the trip. It was a great trip.
Yeah. Then the game started.
Yeah.
All right, 7:22.
What's it? Closed in on us.
Yep. 7:22. We'll take a break. More Sportsline coming up.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Looking for a show that talks about everything? You found it.
By the way, I'm really happy to talk about this as opposed to Ryan's opinion that being a sports fan is a bad thing.
He said that it kept him from being stressed about it, not that it was a bad thing. They didn't have the stress. And, I mean, I've seen you pace.
Yeah, you're only 30 and you look like that.
So true.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on MetroNews Television.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
On the next State of Minds.
The number of users of AI just continues to grow every day, and the complexity of the tasks that people use them for. We are members of community, and we want to be hiring one of the community members or many of the community members where we go. And that's very important to us.
All right, Sportsline rolls on this Sunday night. We just wrapped up the high school sports season last Saturday, a week ago Saturday, with the state baseball tournament down in Huntington. And let's take an opportunity to listen back to Friday night. We talked with one of the state championship winning pitchers in Class AA. The Frankfort Falcons came away with another state title, back-to-back years for them, and Lanson Orndorff was the starting pitcher. He joined Coach Hunter and Kyle on the Sportsline on Friday night.
Pretty good, sir.
Let's talk about the second state baseball championship in 3 years for Frankfort. And you and this group of seniors were a big part of all of it. So put this into perspective for us, what this group has accomplished here over the course of the last few years.
Yeah, so not just the baseball team, but like this whole senior class in general has been like the most successful we've ever had in terms of athletics. I think every single boys sports team made it to the state tournament. So that's the first time that's ever been done. And like we've had a ton of firsts. Like our golf team, they made it to as a team the first time, and just everyone in the class, not just the baseball team.
So, Lanson, does that put pressure on the baseball side of things, especially since you guys have won one previously in the not-too-distant past? You had to go in there sort of thinking, boy, title or nothing? Is that true?
Yeah, that was the goal from day one. It was a title or it was a failure of the season, pretty much. That's what Coach Miller had talked to us about, and we knew we were ready for the moment because we've been there with 3 in a row, and you know, the seniors and the juniors were experienced and they've been there, so we weren't overwhelmed by the stage or the moment.
So what about this group of seniors specific to baseball? You guys, I would imagine you've been together for a long time, probably a lot of you since you were little boys. What's it been like to grow up together and have this type of success at the high school level?
Well, we've played together since we were 9, I think, so just a ton of chemistry on the field, and like off the field we're really close, and you know that just helps us out on the field. We're playing for one another. We're not just playing for us, and we're playing for a team and our community back home, because our community is one of the best I've ever seen. Like we just rallied around. The championship parade was insane. There were so many people out. It was just amazing.
2 complete game victories for you in this. What was the arm like when it was over? I mean, you had a little break in between, but that's still a lot of work in a fairly short period of time.
Well, honestly, on the bus ride home, I felt absolutely no pain. There was so much adrenaline. It was absolutely crazy, but the day after, I was pretty sore. So it kind of caught up to me there, but honestly, it was amazing. You know, just having defense behind me. It was probably the best defense that's ever been behind me. You know, Gunner in center, Blake at short, and Peyton at second were 3 of the best defenders I've ever played with. So it's pretty easy once you just let them put the ball in play, and the out's going to be made.
So the AA games were stretched out. Your quarterfinal round games were on Monday, and you pitched that game against Lincoln. Again, 7 innings work, just 5 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, and the key was you walked just 1. So 107 pitches there, and then the championship game on Saturday afternoon, 94 pitches, 3 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, and just 2 walks. So which in your mind, which performance was better?
I'd like to say the state championship, just because of the moment and the stage. Just because to pitch my best on a big stage and to be in the zone, especially against a really patient team, Logan. We knew they weren't going to chase outside the zone. We watched their Doddridge County game, and they just did not swing at balls. So they were a really disciplined team, and to walk only 2 against that team is a really good accomplishment. And strike out 8, so my stuff was good in the zone when it needed to be.
So you guys go from this amazing high, and all of a sudden it comes to an end. Has that struck you yet, that high school's over?
I guess. I think it has. I'm just enjoying it. We still have the summer and stuff. I'm playing our Legion team, so I'm still going to be able to play with some of the guys on our high school team and just enjoy it while I can.
So what's next for you after this summer?
I'm going to go play at the University of Charleston.
Okay.
To pitch and play some infield for them.
So that's a outstanding program.
Yes, sir.
What's the process like? You say you're playing Legion. What's the process like getting set to play collegiately at UC?
Yeah, it's going to take some work here. I'm going to have to get in the weight room, get a little more physical, and just keep my arm healthy. That's all Coach Peterson told me to do. He said just stay healthy, because they've had quite a bit of injuries last year that kind of sidelined them. But I'm really excited, and he gives everyone a chance down there. So hopefully I'll make an impact my freshman year and play well for him and the school down there.
I love it that you guys are on the Legion team. That's outstanding. Are all the seniors playing?
Most of them. I think 4. I think are playing, and there's a couple juniors on there. And we're just it's a bunch of areas, so it's like Frankfort and Kaiser, Petersburg and Hampshire, and it's just a bunch of those kids coming together and playing in the summer.
Yeah, that's great. We had George Washington on last night, and all those seniors are playing Legion too. I think that's outstanding and commendable, and it keeps you together, it keeps you playing ball. So that's great news. And again, congratulations on winning a championship, and personally what you accomplished, and good luck at the University of Charleston.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right, we appreciate your time.
All right, there's Lanson Orndorff from the Frankfurt Falcons, winning 2 of the 3 state championships in baseball. 7:33, we'll take a break. Some more texts coming up, and we'll hear from the George Washington side of things as they won the Quad A championship last weekend as well. Back in a moment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan. We are here for you.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. High-speed fiber internet is probably at your front door, and now's the time to connect. Your tax dollars helped expand broadband access across West Virginia, and CityNet makes it real. More rural communities in West Virginia can finally get the high-speed internet they deserve. With free equipment, free installation, no contract, and local support you can trust. So whether you're streaming, working, gaming, or running your business, CityNet delivers the speed and reliability you need. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
24 till the top on this Sunday night. Thanks for joining us. Travis and Greg with you in Morgantown on the Sportsline. Greg in Lake Norman writes in, guys, might be jumping the gun on the WVU-UNC game in Charlotte. I've yet to see any acknowledgement of the game being done, a deal, or on any of their platforms or even the local newspapers, the Charlotte Observer, which I read every day, and its sister publication, the Raleigh News and Observer. As such, the N&O sports section is pretty much the same content as the Observer, not a peep in either of it. Plus, get a couple emails or texts each week from the Charlotte Sports Foundation, too. Nothing there. Are you sure it's going to happen?
Yes, we are sure, because WVU people are telling us that. So it's not just internet rumor. I guess until it is officially announced, you can never say it's lock solid. There's always a couple of % possibility that something could change that, but everything we have heard from, again, these are WVU athletic department people, is that this neutral site affair is going to take place.
Yeah, and the first announcement came from some national scribes who were, plugged into the UNC side of things as well. But again, as you said, nothing official yet coming from either side, but that could be just a contract deal, not completely done as of yet. Texter, interesting observation here. Rich Rodriguez, 63 years of age, legendary WVU head football coach Don Nealon was 64 when he announced his retirement in the month of November. So it poses an interesting question. How long do you think Rich coaches?
Well, that is a good question. And it's hard to say for certain. Dealing with Rich on a very regular basis, physically and mentally, he seems perfectly capable of going for quite a while longer. Maybe because Coach Nealon was a good bit older than I. He felt older at the time of his retirement. Rich being my age, he doesn't feel like he's all that old. I think, now, does that mean he's going to coach another 12 years? I would doubt it. I could see him coaching to 70. I could see him coaching to 65 if things don't go well, because I don't think he'll accept just seeing things slide. But I think if things are going well, I think it's really easy and would make sense for him to continue on another 8-9 years. You? What do you see?
Yeah, I think depending on how things go, will determine a lot. If things start rolling like we all hope it will, I don't foresee him hanging it up anytime soon.
No. But again, 15 years, 12 years, no, I don't think that happens.
Plus, he strikes me as a guy that just doesn't. I'm not sure what he would do.
Yeah, we've seen that with others, right? That don't. And, Coach Nealon's wife had health issues and some of those things that made it understandable for him to step away.
Yeah, I mean, things were, if you want to look at it from a arc standpoint, things were on the way, this way.
Yeah.
Whereas Rich, hopefully they're there and they're going, the other way. So
yeah, they've hit bottom now. Hopefully it's going up.
Yep, certainly. All right, 20 till. Let's continue on our high school baseball visit. Back to Friday. Mike Davis, head coach, George Washington. Exciting Quad A final with Morgantown as GW wins their first ever state baseball title.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, the AAA, or I'm sorry, the 4A state championship game didn't start till about 9? It was a little bit after 9 o'clock, but it was well worth the wait on that Saturday because it was probably the best game of the tournament. 6-5, George Washington beats Morgantown in a game that had 5 lead changes. So first of all, what was it like managing a game like that, which was an absolute roller coaster?
It was nerve-wracking. I'll tell you that much. I mean, it was not a clean game by both teams in any manner. I mean, I think I told Pat after the game, just how well coached they are and their approaches. I mean, Morgantown is so good, man. They're just tough. They're tough outs. And, he just mentioned the mistakes that they made. And I said, equally on our part, we made almost just as many mistakes, but it just came down to, who was going to make the last mistake. And we're fortunate that we hung tough and hung in there.
Mike, when did you realize that this team was capable of reaching a state championship? Did you know it preseason? Was there a point in the middle of the season that you realized it?
Well, I think, with this group, it goes back 3 years. The core of this group of kids, they were starters on that the 2024 team where we were runners up. And, I mean, we came up we came up short in that game, but it was very, very close. And then I think last year we felt like we had the team to do it, and Morgantown upset us. And, I think they just came into this year with a mindset, that they were going to refuse anything less than winning the state title. And I'm just, I couldn't be more happy for them that we were able to get the job done.
And so many seniors, Coach. I mean, like you said, the nucleus had been there since, for 3 years, basically. A lot of these seniors have started for multiple years. Yeah,
I mean, this was my 10th season, so I've been there 11 years, and obviously the COVID year was in there. This is the first time that I've never played an underclassman regularly in the lineup. So it was an experienced group of kids, and I think in the tournament it showed that too. We were mixing and matching and looking for guys in the outfield, and our first baseman had to come in and play because our regular first baseman hurt his knee. So, Jackson Engels was kind of an unsung hero. We weren't expecting him to be in there. He went in the tournament and had 4 hits. So, but it wasn't like we were throwing a freshman out there. You had an experienced player that you were able to throw out there.
Mike, we made a whole lot going into this state tournament about the expanded field and more games, and you guys lived through it. Now you won it, so you got to be happy with the outcome. But what was it like to get through this? And were you a fan of the expansion?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, you have to have a lot of pitching to be able to go through that in 4A because you really only get the day off on Thursday. And, if you burn somebody like we had to do with Ty Nettles on Wednesday, one of your top pitchers can't come back and throw. So you kind of have to be mindful of how you're managing your pitching staff, which day, guys are going to throw. But you have to have a lot of pitching to be able to do that. And I think, we're fortunate. I mean, I think Luke touched 90 3 or 4 times. He wasn't able to get a good grip there because he was sweating on his hands so bad. And then you bring Ryan Anderson in, another power arm. We were very fortunate to have the arms that we did to get it done.
Yeah, Huntington humidity. It was, it was humid down there. There's no doubt about it. We're going to talk to Luke here in just a minute, but you brought up Ty Nettles. I thought watching him pitch was fascinating because it was breaking stuff, and it was almost like it was backwards. His approach, he would throw that curveball almost at any time, and it was so sharp, and he threw it for strikes, and he threw it away to the right-handed hitters. Did you see that all year, or was that a step-up performance from him?
No, I think, that's what we've been seeing really for 4 years from Ty. He's the all-time leader in strikeouts at GW High School. He's just consistent. He's rock solid when it comes to his mentality out there. And like I said, I felt bad for him because we weren't able to get him out there and keep him available for Saturday. But, we needed him in the game where it was so close for so long in that Huntington game. But, man, he's a great pitcher.
Yeah, he was outstanding. So as you mentioned, the 4A games were compressed, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Now this is going to rotate, right? The single A games, the quarterfinals were played on the previous Saturday. They came back and played their semifinals on Thursday, and then their championship game was Saturday. So obviously that's an advantage, but the classes are going to kind of rotate through, right?
I think that was the initial plans, but when I was talking to Chris Wells and Wayne, at some point during that tournament, they almost have to keep it how it is. I think maybe you could rotate 4A and AAA because they're pretty comparable, but I just can't see how single A or double A can go Wednesday to Saturday and have enough pitching to be able to do that. I mean, it's nothing against the smaller classes. It's just a numbers game, and we're drawing from more kids. So I don't know, that might be tabled, I think, where they're going to flip around the classes. That might not be for sure, but that was the latest that I heard on it. Okay,
well, I completely agree with that. I mean, I agree with that assessment that it needs to probably stay the way it is competition-wise. And, I'm kind of a traditionalist. So I've been doing this tournament for over 30 years, and the AAA game, now it's the 4A game. The AAA game was the 7 or the 8 o'clock game on the last day of the tournament every year. So I personally like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like an elitist, but yeah, I agree with you. I mean, 2024, we had to play a AAA title game at 10 a.m., and that was rough, I'll tell you.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time, and again, congratulations. What's the celebration been like I know everybody's been caught up in the Mountaineers, and I'm sure all you guys have watched this run through the College World Series, but what's the celebration been like there back on campus and with the families and all the fans there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been great to hear from a lot of different people congratulating you, things like that, but like I said, it's really hard to put into words the feeling, but it's a very humbling experience, more so than I thought it would be. I've been dreaming about this for a long time for our program, but just to be able to be a part of it with these kids and the reward that you get from seeing them succeed, it's the greatest feeling in the world, and it's not like anything I expected it would be.
Yeah, you guys have been building up towards this, and you finally break through with this veteran group. Again, Coach, congratulations, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys, and I appreciate everything you guys do covering high school sports in West Virginia. We appreciate it.
All right.
Mike Davis, head coach of George Washington. Again, kind of hard to believe that GW or Morgantown hadn't won a baseball championship. Somebody was going to get there first. Last Saturday night happened to be the Patriots of George Washington High School. North-South game, we previewed a ton of that this past week for you on the Sportsline. It took place, South Charleston High School, football-wise. North beat the South 34-7. Jack Byer of University was the game's most valuable player from the north side of things. He had a touchdown rushing, passing, and receiving. So he finished with 46 total yards of offense and 3 touchdowns as he played quarterback, tight end, and defensive end in the contest. So congratulations to him. He caught a 21-yard touchdown pass from Buchanan Upsher's Dawson Tenney, and the North routed the South in that game. Meanwhile, at the South Charleston Community Center, back on Friday night, the 30th North-South Boys Basketball Classic was held, and the South used an early run to blow past the North. 126-81 was the final score on the boys' side of things. Meanwhile, the girls, it came down to a final possession, and the South held off the North. 80-78 was the final in that contest. So the North won football, and the South took the basketball crowns.
There you go. So, in a way, the final piece
that's
of
the final
2026 season, though maybe it was baseball last week. But explain that. Now, flex days obviously go with the term flex, so you can use them as you want. But explain how that works for those high school programs that are almost all use that in some variety, right?
Yeah. So they again, there's a window that you can use them. You've got so many days to use them. The window opens, I believe, on June the 2nd, and concludes with the midweek of July, last of July. I think the 20. I think you have to get them all in by the 25th of July, and then that last week in July is always the dead period. Basically at that point, if kids hadn't taken vacation, they can that last week, and then obviously the 1st of August is when it begins for the fall sports to begin their practices, and in golf's case, they start playing. So so coaches again have the ability. And most schools do a very, very good job of the coaches working together to plan out their flex days, so that if you have a 3-sport or 2-sport kid, they can attend both.
Yeah, no, obviously, especially at smaller schools, that's you need all your best athletes playing as many sports as possible. And a lot of them 7-on-7 camps in such ongoing, so that's important. But it does appear to me, and it makes perfect sense that at least on the football side of things, people are using their flex days later, like July, because it gives them the ability to do some conditioning and some work leading right up, and then you only have a short period of time before practice starts. Is that seemingly the case at a lot of schools?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. They basically, I can tell you the number that they have total. Let me see here. So basically 3 days a week.
Okay.
Beginning on June 2nd, as I mentioned, there is a it's 3 days a week. Some days are 4 in the month of June and July. So I do think, thinking back through my memory, there used to be a much more condensed time that you could use your flex days. They've opened that up now. To allow the flexibility of the different sports to be able to, to either, stagger the days or, do evening or morning and evening. Essentially.
Well, I threw that at you without pre-warning, so
that's fine.
Your knowledge of that
luckily,
was
I
good. Had
the flex day schedule in front of me.
Yeah, well, and I do think now that we're moving into not even mid-July, mid-June, but later June. Those are the story for the high school athletes. Is flex days for the next month and a half, and then before we know it, practice will start.
Yep, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, yeah, really, we're about a month and a week away from the start of not only high school football practice, but the fall sports practice. And along with that, I will add that Joe Percato also will start cranking up the high school football coverage, available at wvmetronews.com and also on MetroNews television. Joe,
make sure I require him this year to chart every mile he drives when he does his circuit, because I'm always fascinated because he hits every point of the state. Maybe not quite every school, but a lot of them.
Yeah, he does. He does try. I think he's going to try to condense a little more into August this year than July. Yeah, we'll try to at least the expected top teams in West Virginia will get hit in their fall or flex days or fall camp.
Yeah, so. and again, Joe has become the food connoisseur as people bring food out to him on many of his thoughts. So we've got to get him to rate. Maybe we don't want him to deride anyone because that wouldn't do well for the future. But maybe give us a favorite or two along the way.
Sounds good. All right, final break. We'll close it out when we come back.
Answering a text or phone call while driving. Seems pretty harmless, right? But in the 5 seconds you took your eyes off the road to respond, you missed the girl riding her bike across the street. You missed the dog who darted into the road. And you missed the stop sign. And while it was just a ticket this time, it could have been worse. In fact, more than 700 people are injured in distracted driving crashes each day. Keep yourself and others safe. Don't drive distracted. Just drive. This message was brought to you by the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide Sportsline returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great point.
Join Tony Carini, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
All right, out of time. Again, definitive national championship game tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on ESPN, Oklahoma and North Carolina for the title. But that series tied at 1 game apiece. Have a great week. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night for the Sportsline. And again, next Sunday night, same bad time, same bad channel. Have a great week, everybody.
From the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network. All rights reserved.